If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're from. We're going to do a quick mic check to make sure that you guys can hear me loud and clear, but today is Monday. It's a great day to be alive today. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me loud and clear. So as soon as you guys kind of come in and get all settled, let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me okay. I'm Derek Forston from Forston Consultants, and I'm proud to be here like I am every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We told you guys starting probably in the new year, we're going to start going to probably to 7 p.m. That seems to be a better time for a lot of people. So for years, we've been going at 6 p.m., but we're going to start going at 7 p.m. Eastern starting in January. So look forward to that as well. And again, if you can hear me, depending on where you're logging in from, just let me know if you can hear me in the chat. I'm also going to pull up and check on a few things here. But if you love God, love people, and love real estate, you always want to get into housing, right? Real estate and helping people. This is it. We talk about shared living environments here, which we've coined the phrase, and we also trademarked it, independent living facilities. And again, that's just an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. So again, if you've ever dreamed of getting into real estate, but you also like helping people, right? This is the way that you can merge both of those together, right? The love of God, real estate, and social services all mixed into one. So again, just give me one person that can tell me in the chat if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Got some technical difficulties going on today. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me, because I would hate to go on and on and on and you guys can't hear a word that I'm saying. So what I'm gonna do really quick is take a quick commercial break, and I'm gonna come right back as I check my audios. And again, you're in the right place if you love God, love people, and love real estate, and you want to merge them all together. And it doesn't require a license, and you do not have to own the property. Let's take a break, and we'll come right back. Hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know really quick, everything that you're listening to right now, I actually have it in a more structured way in a webinar. So when you guys get done here, go to forstonconsultants.com, click the tab that says webinars, and there's 2 webinars there. One is for you to be the actual ILF operator, meaning that you want to do it. And then the other one is the HRA. That stands for Housing Referral Agency, where you're able to take people from homeless to hopeful, and you actually don't need the real estate. It stands for Housing Referral Agency, and we call it a business in a box. But definitely go to forstonconsultants.com, watch both of those webinars, then set up a free strategy call with me and my team, and let's see how we can get you started. Back to the show. Hey, what's going on, family? I hope you guys are enjoying this information. But just in case if you was wondering, how could you get more one-on-one coaching just like this? First of all, you can ask just by typing it in the chat, or you can visit forstonconsultants.com/IMB. Again, the IMB stands for ILF Mastery Blueprint. So again, if you want one-on-one coaching, let us know. This is exactly what we do. And again, don't spend all your time in this room today without asking questions. As you see, we're giving out a lot of great information. So make sure you ask your questions just to make sure that you fully understand it. And then also don't forget, we give you guys a free strategy call. So we want you to watch our webinar. That's it. Also at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, but also soak up a lot of this information that we're giving you guys on YouTube, and then schedule a free strategy call so that we can get on the phone to talk about how fast can we get you started. Let's get back to the show. All right, we are back, and I think I got my audios all good now. So Tia and Qatar, if you guys can hear me okay, just let me know in the chat. I think I got it fixed, but just let me know in the chat. And tonight's title is, guys, how much you can make as an ILF owner. Now, I don't think we've ever talked about this live before, and what's pretty crazy is that my team usually comes up with these topics, guys, or they'll come from a lot of the questions that we have during the week. So I didn't even know this title until I saw it just now. So I'm super excited about this. I probably won't spend a lot of time on it, though. My mom's actually in town. She's here at my house downstairs cooking. So y'all already know what that means, right? So if you guys don't have any questions, right, I probably won't be before you guys super long today, but I do have probably 3 or 4 questions that came in during the week, and I want to make sure I answer that. And as always, I'm going to always give that brief overview, because every week, man, I'm still surprised and honored that no matter how long we've been here, guys, we always get 3 or 4 to 7 new people every time we come on. So no matter how many times I repeat this same spiel, it's kind of like having that speech that you always say. And a lot of you guys, like Qatar, Tia, a bunch of you guys have heard me talk about this a lot, right? And you guys are just supportive and you're still learning and growing. But again, if you're new to us, right, I want to make sure that you guys get your questions answered today. Because again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, we want to show you a way of how to merge all of that together in a shared living environment. So my family now, we coined the phrase independent living facility. And again, that just means an environment for adults where they can live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. So with your normal group home or your normal ALF or IDD, all of those kind of housing programs, they do require a license. They require state oversight, right? And they require a lot of hoops to jump through to get into it. But one thing about the ILF model, you don't have to own the property and there's no license, because the people that we're housing are completely independent. So that's the cheat code to what this is. And if you guys got any questions about that, just let me know. I'm also going to put on screen, and I'm going to scroll it at the bottom, that if you just text the phrase more info to 407-326-0086, that's going to give you our introductory webinar. That's also going to break this down, what I'll be talking about today. And then it also gives you an invite to speak with us live by phone so that we can answer all of your questions and also see how can we get you started in your city. Like, how can you leave your job in the next 90 days to do what we do, right? So a lot of you guys, man, God has already called you to house the homeless, get involved in real estate, helping people. You just probably never knew that you could do it in such a model in terms of what we do. So again, the ILF model means no license, no state oversight, and you don't have to own the property. So we rent and we lease most of these properties. And just like the title says, how much can you make? So depending on where you live in, that's going to be a different answer. So right now in the chat, I can see a couple of you guys that we've taught this to. All of our prices are different, right? So if you didn't mind it, just to show the people, Katara, Tia, Mary, whoever else is in here, if you guys got housing programs, what do you guys charge per bed? Right? So me and Orlando, my shared room, like what you see on screen, that room starts at $740, right? And it can go up depending on what property they're at, what room they're in. Just like when you guys go on vacation and you get a hotel, all those hotel rooms are not the same price. Once you check in or you go online to pick your accommodations, you got the ability to check that if you want an ocean view, window view, all of these different views, king size, queen size, a suite. So no different from this model, guys. So in the ILF model, there's actually 3 different ways that you can be housed. Now, the first way, that shared model, which is the 2 beds per room, is what you guys see on screen right now. But what do you do with the guy that says, Derek, I don't want to share a room. Derek, I'm a grown man, bro. I don't want to share a room with another man or another lady, Derek. Derek, I'm a grown lady. That's when we're going to refer people to what we would call our private room or the private suite. But most people that call our phone and that need help in terms of housing, they want this. And even if they want the private room, Katara, as you know, they often can't afford it. So sometimes as a housing provider, we're educating the people on kind of how this works. We're educating them on what they can afford. Because if they smoke cigarettes, if they drink coffee, if they got all these other extracurricular activities during the month that takes money, sometimes you got to educate them, say, hey, Mr. Joe, you can't afford this private room, because if you do, you won't have no money for your cigarettes, your coffee, your car insurance, and all of these things that you told me that you pay for. So why not consider this shared room? You got a great roommate, and now you got over $250 left over in your pocket. So sometimes, again, they want that private room, but a lot of times you're going to find yourself educating them on what they really can't afford. So like this private model, prime example, I got a guy coming by on Friday, right? He wants a private room. He don't want my shared room. And the crazy part about it, watch this, where I live in Orlando, Florida, guys, most of my residents will receive at a cap about $940 a month, $920, $880, $750. They get numbers like that. So they can't afford this private room all the time, right? So again, educating them on what they can afford, right, often helps them make a sound decision. Just like Katara just told you guys in the chat, she's in Columbia, South Carolina. Her shared room is $680. Her private room starts at $780. So see how we're different? And she got the same teaching from me, because $680 is actually my old number, right? And I'm encouraging Katara to even raise her rents, because we got to wait for her to increase the rent, but also put more money back in her client's pocket. So all of my ILF Mastery Blueprint members, I told you guys in y'all private group of how you can put $320 back into the pocket of your client. And it's simply by this insurance that they get. Has nothing to do with how they pay their rent. But if they get this insurance, it gives them an extra $320 a month to go towards their bills, utility bills, rent, mortgage, whatever, right? So that's a gem for anybody that's doing this, right? So again, Tia, put in the chat, what are you charging? Tia, I spoke to a lady today, and if I told you her dad was Tia, you would know exactly who I'm talking about. She didn't know that you had a housing program in Haines City, so she ended up referring the guy to us way in Orlando, but the guy lived in Point Siena. So again, but because she didn't know Tia did this, now she does because I told her, and now Tia, she's going to be advertising every day that she's offering housing in Haines City, Florida, Tia, just for you. Okay? So again, back to how much you can make doing this. Guys, can you imagine getting a 4-bed, 2-bath and everybody's paying you $740 a piece? So just for the math of it, if you guys want to see what those numbers are, Mary, if you can put $740 times 8 people, and that's that 4-bed, 2-bath, show them what that would actually go for. Also do another one for 6 people, because that means if you got a 3-bed, 2-bath, that's 6 people that you're taking from homeless to hopeful. Now, obviously, if you're like Tia and not like a lot of us, you only do 1 person per room anyway. So Tia doesn't do kind of what I specialize in, which is these 2 beds per room right here, right? Tia does more of what we would call the private model or the private suite model, where everybody's got their own room. And under my coaching, the less amount of people, the less amount of problems you also should be having. So again, you guys want to put in the chat and just again, play with your own numbers. Somebody do Katara's numbers. Katara, what is 680 times 8 people? What is 680 times 4 people? So it kind of shows you kind of what the math is on this. And right here, Mary just put 740 times 8 is 5920. Guys, I'll admit, as a poor social worker making 28 grand a year of what I used to make, I couldn't imagine making money like that. And what's so cool about this is a win-win situation. We're doing God's will, we're housing God's people, and being able to make enough money to feed your family. So that's what we live for, y'all. Watch this. This is a mantra kind of we go by, something that we believe in. If you want to take this for you and your family, by all means, please take it. But we believe in pleasing God, helping people, being respected by the community, and making enough money to feed your family. I'm going to repeat them real slowly, because if somebody can type these in the chat, this is what we live by, no matter what we're doing. Guys, I own 8 businesses and a nonprofit. Me and my wife are busy. We do a lot of stuff. But guess what all of those businesses are surrounded by? Pleasing God, helping people, being respected by the community while we're doing it, but also making enough money to feed your family. Put a number 7 in the chat if that's what you want to be known for, and that's what you stand for. And I'm going to be the first one to do it. Because again, it's hard to lose in life, guys, when your first goal is please God. Number 2, help people. Not because Derek said it, guys, but the Bible says the poor and needy will always be among us. So if we're helping people, we're doing God's will, and we're making the income to be able to feed our family. Guys, we're living the dream at this point. Some of y'all, this is a dream for y'all. This is the way to make your dream come true now, without all of the oversight from the state, without hiring staff. Guys, we're housing independent adults that are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. That's what makes this model, guys, the absolute cheat code. One more time, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, show me something that's better to do other than you going to start your own church and getting a church building and building a congregation. Other than being a pastor or a bishop, watch this, y'all. I'm no different from my local pastor. He got a ministry and so do I. You guys got a ministry inside of you, and it doesn't mean you got to have a microphone on somebody's stage. You having a ministry means that you're doing God's work, possibly building and enriching the lives of people in your community through real estate. That's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. In the year 2025, how can we help people and get involved in real estate at the same time to do God's will? And how much money can I make doing it? Now, I'll admit, oftentimes we don't even talk about a lot of money when we're talking about this. Because for one, quite frankly, money follows ministry. Money follows mastery. And guys, we have mastered the art of housing people in a shared living environment. So again, this doesn't require a license. You don't have to own the property. And there's no oversight from your state or your community or your government or your county. If you got patience for people, you love God and you love people, you are a good fit for this. Because if you lack patience and you're generally not a people's person, I'm going to tell you to go do something else. Maybe Airbnb. That's more of a concierge business. That's more of a customer service business, right? But this right here, your heart got to be in it. You got to love God and love people. And although there's not a lot of work that's involved in it, because the Airbnb game, there's a lot of work that's involved in that. The Airbnb is two sides. Airbnb is a concierge business, customer service, but it's also a real estate business. You got to meet the needs of these people every day to keep things clean. They're visitors, they're guests. Whereas these people, these are my clients, my residents, my family. They live here. Make sense, everybody? And again, this is what it looks like. This is the shared living environment, whether that's 2 beds per room or whether that's 1 bed, because 1 bed with the bathroom is called a suite. And then the 1 bed without the bathroom is just called a private room. So again, like I said earlier, in this one model, there's actually 3 different choices of how to house people. And again, shared, private suite. And in the chat already, we've given you guys a couple examples of kind of what you can make doing this. Now imagine having an 8-bedroom home. So when people say, well, Derek, what house size should I start with? Well, my personal favorite is that 4-bed, 2-bath. That's kind of just a great number to start at. You can house 8 people with 2 people per room, or 4 people with them all having their own private room. As long as the math is making sense, the math has the math, or this doesn't make sense. Does that make sense, everybody? Right? If the math isn't mathing, you guys are just running a shelter. And I don't want y'all doing that. I want you guys to be paid for the great work that you're doing in your community. So again, you're going to go out and rent or lease a house. You're going to build relationships with social workers and case managers. That's going to serve as your funnel system. And then you move people in according to the assessment, because you just don't move everybody in, right? Sometimes people are not going to be a good fit. Make sense, everybody, so far? So again, if you're new to us or you just joined us, have I said anything yet that's been confusing? That you can start this tomorrow. You don't need a license. You don't need state oversight. You don't need to hire staff. If you have patience, the love of God in your heart, and you love people and some patience, and you generally love real estate, or you trying to get into the game of real estate, guys, this is it. And first of all, God is all over this too, because as we told you guys, not because Derek said it, because it's just the next greatest thing to do with real estate. Guys, the Bible even says the poor and needy will always be among us. And we're to take care of the poor, the needy, and the widow. And guys, we're doing it through real estate. So how powerful is that God has given us the ability to do something so powerful and give us a means to generational wealth through it? Because a lot of y'all want to get into real estate. You just never knew that you can do God's will through it by offering affordable housing. And that's what we do. So again, guys, I won't be here super long tonight, but as y'all know, we want to be consistent. I always come here every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. Mondays, we're here on 6 p.m. Eastern. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, but as I said, in the new year, Monday and Tuesday will probably go to 7 p.m. Eastern. We took a vote on that last week, and a lot of people love the 7 p.m. idea. It gives time for you guys to get home and get settled, get the kids in, start dinner or finish dinner. So I heard that giving you guys that extra hour, you guys would really love that. So again, January, I think Tia said January 6th is that first Monday, Tia. Not sure. But that first Monday in January, that's when we're going to take off with the 7 p.m. Shay's already given us to go ahead on that. And again, you guys got questions about how to get started. What is this? How much money you can make? Just let us know. Because again, depending on where you live at, that's what's going to be the differentiate. That's what's going to be the difference, of what you'll charge. Obviously, you just saw in the chat that where I live at and where Katara is in South Carolina, we don't charge the same. So we give you ways to find that out, how to find it, how to know what to charge. All that's involved in our coaching, but we're willing to help anybody tonight if you guys got any questions or concerns about this shared living environment, because when we come back from break, I'm actually going to talk about some of the places of where we go and get these clients at. Okay. So again, thank y'all so much for being part of the Forster Consultants. Make sure you guys are following us on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, all at Forster Consultants. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. So Dennis, in this independent living facility model, right, which y'all call ILFs, what kind of residents can I house in this kind of model? David, that's a great question. And that's actually what makes the ILF model so great, is because it's flexible. So prime example, you can house military veterans, elderly adults, women that are escaping domestic violence, and the list goes on and on and on. So Dennis, where do you get your residents from? I see you guys on TikTok and Facebook, you guys getting all of these houses. Like, where in the world are you getting these people from? Yeah, that's actually pretty easy. Forster Consultants teaches us to use social media such as Instagram, Facebook, to let people know who we are, what we do, but probably most importantly, who do we serve? And we do that very consistently. So every day, 7 days a week, there's something being posted about what we do and who we serve, but also building relationships with social workers and case managers. Again, letting them know who we are, what we do, and most importantly with them, that we're available. Dennis, how in the world are you able to do this without a license, bro? David, remember the reason why we don't need a license, because remember, the clients that we serve, they're independent. So that means that they can take their own medications, they can provide their own transportation, and they can cook and provide their own food. Dennis, man, you seem to know a lot about this independent living stuff, man. How do you know so much? Well, first of all, I graduated from Forster Consultants University, and I have a master's degree in independent living facilities. And I join the Forster crew every Monday on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern. They go live, and that guy Derek, man, he give the game away. So I'm always there. So Dennis, what in the world are the requirements to get started with something like this? The only requirement for this, David, is a big heart for God, his people, and the love for real estate. That's it. And bro, don't think I ain't listening, because I am listening. But where can I find more information like this at, man? Because I really want to get started, man. David, if I were you, I'd follow Derek Forston on Facebook and TikTok, and then I'd follow Forston Consultants on everything else in terms of Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Again, really slowly, David, because you're hard-headed. I'd follow Derek Forston at Facebook on his personal page. I'd follow him on TikTok, but I will also follow Forston Consultants on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget, David. Hey, Dennis, man, I really appreciate that, man. I'm going to do exactly what you told me to do. I'm going to follow Forster Consultants on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. No problem, David. That's actually what I'm here for. And by the way, where did you get that hoodie? I like that. Oh, this? I got this from Second Chance Apparel. I'll put the link below. This is for aspiring entrepreneurs. And the reason why I love to support it is that every shirt or hoodie that you purchase goes back into housing the homeless. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. We super appreciate it. Y'all could have been there anywhere, right? But you chose to be here, and we appreciate that. In fact, if you're new to us, all you got to do is just text the word new to this phone number right here that's on screen, and we got an absolute free gift that we want to give you. I wrote a book that's something that we live by that's called Don't Wait to Be Great, and I want to make sure that you guys get that as a free gift. Big shout out to everybody that downloaded the free book that we offered all last month. And the month before that, that book was called How to Avoid the ILF Fiasco. We did that book free for probably over 45 days. I'm proud to say that over 86 people downloaded that book. Big shout out to each and every one of you. I'm super proud of that. On one hand, I could have sold all of those books for $37. But again, my heart was more concerned about helping people, especially through these holiday seasons, and finances have been tough for some folks. 2024 wasn't that great for a lot of people financially. So we wanted to find a way to give back. And again, big shout out to it was over 86 people. I think it was like 89. but 86 people for sure downloaded our newest ebook, How to Avoid the ILF Fiasco and How to Avoid the 12 Dumbest Mistakes I Ever Made when I first started. 86 of y'all downloaded that. You guys are also going to get probably an additional email about something that can even push you further. I'm going to keep that secret for now because only you guys, the 86 people, will get that email. And it's crazy because to me, it should have been 1,086, right? That was a free book. I put a $40,000 lawsuit, guys, that I went through in that book. I gave y'all a lot of the dumb mistakes and a lot of the dumb decisions that I made in the beginning. Because remember, guys, when I started, there was no teacher. There was nobody teaching me the way I come here and pour into you all. And again, instead of hiding it or being ashamed of it, I put it in a book. Right now, that book is still for sale. It's only $97. And again, guys, that book to me is worth $40,000 because I went through a $40,000 lawsuit that I was super transparent and I put it in that book because I don't want it to happen to you all. But for all the new people in December, January, because we'll do this book probably for 2 weeks. 2 months. This book is called Don't Wait to Be Great. It's just an encouraging book. It'll give you a lot of great tips and clues and tricks of how not to stay stagnant. Because remember, if you've been around us for any length of time, you know that we also live by this other saying, this other quote that we say that don't procrastinate, right? Because procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do, right? So that's what we live by. And that's what I want you guys to also take on for yourself. So when we offer free stuff like this, like why wouldn't you download a free book that guides you through all my mistakes, right? Now, this new book, this one don't do that, but this new book that's entitled Don't Wait to Be Great, I challenge you guys to also download that book for also the tough times, meaning when you have that dream that's in your heart that God gave you and things ain't quite working out, you also need to read this book. And I'm going to give it to you guys for absolutely free. So make sure you guys go and check that out by texting the word new, just NEW to 407-326-0086. And also, if you want to check out all the other ebooks that we have, including that one I just talked about, you guys can go to forstonconsultants.com. And then once you get there, there'll be a tab that says products and services. If you click that button, you will see all of the ebooks that we kind of have in a bundle. In fact, one of the ebooks is a bundle, right? It comes with like 2 ebooks and a course. That was the first ebook that a lot of people say, well, Derek, what's the first starting point? It's the ebook bundle. It's called the ILF, like how did I start an ILF in 10 easy steps? And then the sequel to that book is called I Have an ILF, Now What? Right? And then also it comes with a mini course. You get all 3 of those also for only $97. All that's on our website if you guys are interested in any of that. But if nothing else, I absolutely want you guys to get that free book, right? Just text the word new to that phone number and you guys can get that. I'm putting the website also in the chat. And for anybody that was also interested in our one-on-one coaching, which is called the ILF Mastery Blueprint, the ILF Accelerator, and the ILF Do-It-Yourself version, we got 3 ways to get into our coaching. In fact, I'll even bring something up about that. But there's the one-on-one coaching, right, to where you become my family. I hold your hand through the whole process. We have the ILF Accelerator, same thing, but it's a hard stop at 6 months, meaning that's a 6-month program. From the day you start, 6 months later, boom, we're done. Right now, the original, that's for life coaching. You with me for the rest of your life, unless you decide to go learn how to fry chicken and sell cookies and you do that business. But as long as you're in real estate and want to house the homeless and the displaced in a shared living environment, our ILF Mastery Blueprint coaching, guys, is for life. Okay. And then the ILF Mastery Blueprint DIY, the do-it-yourself version, that's most affordable. That was only $997, a little under $1,000. The accelerator is $3,000. And the one-on-one coaching, the ILF Mastery Blueprint, is $7,500. They all have the ability to get a scholarship that can go towards it. So just let us know there. You can also text the word scholarship to that same phone number and let us know which coaching package that you're interested in. But right here, I want to jump back in because, as I said, I probably won't be here super long tonight. But I want to show you guys this, right? Because I get this question a lot. I also have over 635 videos on the topic of ILFs and shared housing. So make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, right? Over 635 videos, guys, talking about what this is. So when I always say, guys, there's not a question that you can ask me that's not already in a video format, I really mean that, right? But some people don't have the time, so they want to get the one-on-one coaching and just get it directly from me, right? or they come and join our lives every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. But right here, this is how we connect with social workers and case managers. This is also what's going to serve as my funnel system. Now, notice I'm going to give you a lot of this game for free today, right? Because this is just who we are. I promised God many years ago, God, if you make this work for me, I'll go all over the world teaching it, and I'll never take any credit. So watch me do that right now. Guys, without God, I'm a nobody. But with God, by the end of the night, y'all going to think I'm a genius. But I'm not. God is just somebody that took me and showed me a vision of a lady that was doing this exact same model, y'all. The only difference is that she was making $40,000 a month doing this. Guys, I was making 28 grand a year. And I'm going to say that again real slowly because I know I talk fast. God showed me a lady, y'all, that was making 41 grand a month doing what I'm talking to y'all about right here today. The only difference is, guys, in the way that she did it and the way that we do it, guys, she did it in rats and roaches. And I'm going to show y'all a picture of how she mistreated people, right? And this is me as that social worker begging God to change my life, begging God to get me in real estate, begging God to get me into helping people. Dummy me, I didn't know it, but God gave me everything that I asked him for through this job, actually. And then when he allowed me to see these conditions, people living in a house that's got a burnt up kitchen, the beds are on the ground, no rails, no comforter, no pillow, no pillowcase, no sheets. The devil is a liar. How you gonna make 41 grand a month and house people in conditions like this where the bed is on cinder blocks? The bed is on the floor. The TV doesn't have a dresser, but it's on a dadgum banana box. Guys, we ain't doing this. Now, some of your clients may want to do that, but you as the owner, we don't put up with this. And I got some guys that ain't so neat that live in my places. But guys, it's one thing from not being neat than from you offering people a bed that's sitting on dadgum cinder blocks. Somebody type in the chat, the devil is a liar. This is the same lady, y'all, that was making 41 grand a month. If you made 41 grand a month, would that change your life a little bit? Somebody type yes in the chat if that's you, because I'm going to be the first one to type yes. As I was making 28 grand a year, I was like, Lord, have mercy. This woman just showed me she was making 41 grand a month housing people in rats and roaches with the beds on the floor, burnt up kitchen. And the one that took the whole cake was a lady that I saw sleeping in front of the kitchen stove paying $750 a month to sleep next to a drawer by the kitchen drawer. Y'all know that drawer that's attached to the bottom stove that you keep your muffin pans in and your cornbread pan in? As roaches are running in and out of that bottom drawer, that's where that lady was sleeping at, y'all. And I said, Lord, have mercy, I got to get into this. And nobody would teach it. They wouldn't explain it. So me, you know me, Derek, I said, you know what? I'm going to do this on my own then, because nobody won't teach me. There was no YouTube channel. There was no Derek that came 3 days a week teaching this thing to people. That's why I say, God, if you let me get in it, God, I'll go all over the world teaching it, and I'll never take any credit. God, I'll tell people that I barely graduated high school. My wife tricked me to go to college. I landed a social work job, and God, you showed me my dream through a lady that was making 41 grand a month doing it. Lord have mercy. Do y'all feel where I'm coming from now? Like, 3 of y'all type in the chat, I feel you. Because guys, y'all are probably just like I was. This is your dream. You wanted to do this. You want to be involved in real estate. You want to help people. But there was nobody to teach it to you, to show you how to get into a place that looks like that and house people like this. You thought you needed a license. You thought you had to own the place. You thought you needed permission from your county, from your state. You thought you had to hire staff. Guys, and none of that's true, especially when I connect with the hospitals, substance abuse units, social service type people, mental health hospitals, leads from my flyers, and I'm also cold call people. Now, when I first started this years ago, y'all, I did all of this stuff myself. Now, today we use virtual assistants that do this stuff for you. So for $100 a week, you can get a virtual assistant, guys, that can do all of the social media, the phone calling, the outreach, the building of the relationships, the cold calling. Should I keep going? To create your TikTok, create your Facebook, Because most of y'all just like me, you're not very techy, you ain't good on the computer. Y'all think I built these slides? Negative. My team does all of this stuff for me. VAs for $100 a week. Get all your social media done. Call all these hospitals that I'm telling y'all to go and call and offer your services to. Most of y'all got a 9-to-5 job. You busy. I get it. But a good software system and a good website and a virtual assistant, you can run this business while you at your 9-to-5 job, while you trying to feed your family. So again, hospitals, again, I'm going to advertise to them that I'm the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to affordable housing. And I'm going to tell them that we do this thing called shared housing. So even though there may be private rooms or a private suite, no problem. I got shared rooms too. So again, social workers, case managers, social service. Well, Derek, what is social services, Derek? The Goodwill, the Salvation Army, the local shelter that's in your city. Put a number 3 in the chat if you know of a local shelter in your city. We get this all the, Derek, where do I get these people from? I posted just the other day on my Instagram page about this place in Jacksonville after I had a call with 3 people from Jacksonville talking about, Derek, where you get the people from? Derek, I don't know where to find the homeless people. I took a whole video of this camp, hundreds of people in tents. And guess what was next door, less than 15 feet from where this camp was? A social service building. Are you serious? Can you imagine out of those, all of those people, that probably 75% of those people get a Social Security income and looking for a place to live, but don't know that you got this shared living environment, that we don't have to pass your background check. They don't need a double and triple deposit. Guys, we are the cheat code for people when it comes to affordable housing. And I'm going to find them through hospitals, through social workers and case managers. I'm going to call and show up to the substance abuse units. Hey, sir, my name is Derek. I have a program by the name of Second Chance Housing. We take people from homeless to hopeful. And I want to work with you and your team that when you guys are discharging people with nowhere to go, y'all give us a call. Guys, that's how simple that is. Can you put me in your Rolodex, sir? Now, for my real old people, y'all know about a Rolodex. Now, if you're young, you have no clue what a Rolodex is. That just means I want my contact to be in your cell phone. I want to be the go-to when you think about housing. Katara, I want to be what we call a preferred vendor. Somebody type in the word preferred vendor. I want to be the preferred vendor, meaning that when they're thinking of somebody for housing, who's preferred over all the other people that are on this list? Prime example, I got a guy coming by Friday. I just told y'all this earlier. Guess how the guy got introduced to me? He went to some doctor's appointment and spilled his guts to the people and the nurse about he need a place to live. Guess what? Most of these hospitals got a list for housing. Guess who's on the top of that list, y'all? And no good of my own, not because I'm so great, because of the grace of God, first of all, and a virtual assistant that calls all of these hospitals, Katara, Tia, to put me on that list. So Katara and Tia, if you guys are not doing that, hello, how you doing today? May I speak to the director of social work? Great, I'll hold. Good morning, Miss Casey. How's it going? Great. My name is Derek Forston. I'm calling from Second Chance Housing. I just wanted to make sure that you guys add me to your housing list. I understand as a social worker or a case manager that you guys have a resource list for when it comes to housing. I would love to be a part of it. My website is, my social media is, my phone number is, and I'll send all of this in a follow-up email to you. Can you add me to your resource list? We have housing right here in Orlando, Florida. Guys, how hard is that? And then for some of y'all that are afraid to talk to people, no problem. That's what a lot of us use VAs for, a virtual assistant, because they make the same phone call. Hello, good morning. My name is Jenny, and I'm calling on the behalf of Journey to Journey Housing. Can I speak to your social work supervisor? Sure, I'll hold. Good morning. My name is Jenny, and I represent Journey to Journey Housing, where we take people from homeless to hopeful right here in Central Florida. Can I speak with you and your team maybe next Wednesday at 10 o'clock to talk about the services that we offer when it comes to housing? And we always bring coffee and donuts. How many are in your team so that I can bring enough? Guys, that's how I show up in person. That's how I do it by phone. I'm giving y'all a lot of coaching that I give my students or my family, as I call them. So when you're afraid to get on the phone, which I pray that you lose that fear, because God is not giving you the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind, that you also utilize a virtual assistant or the AI virtual assistant that we've offered you guys through Digital Flow Solutions. Make sense, everybody? So again, if you've never thought about getting a virtual assistant, you need to consider that, because what if you got a 9-to-5 job, like a lot of you all do, and you can't find the time to call people to build relationship? How do you call the hospital if you're at work for 12 hours a day? How do you call the mental health hospital, which is where I worked at for 9 years? How do you find a Derek that's a social worker that can fill all your empty beds? Guys, you got to make the phone call. You got to send the email. You got to ask for the invite to show up in person. And that drives back to tonight's title. How much can I make as an ILF operator? Well, it just depends on where you live at and what you're charging per bed and what is your rent. Because your biggest fees that you're going to pay every month is your rent, the lights, the water, the Wi-Fi, and your insurance. After you cover that stuff, how much over that is your profit? And everybody that's in this room that's listening to me right now, your profit margins are different. Because if I take a 4-bed, 2-bath home that looks like this, and I got 8 of these beds, my profit margin looks different from Tia, who's in Haines City, Florida, from Katara, who's in South Carolina, from Mary, who's in Central Florida. We're all different, so to speak. So make sure the math is mathing and making sense. Because if the math don't make sense, guys, this gonna seem like baloney to a lot of y'all too, where you're operating a shelter. And watch this. One day I pray for a shelter. I want God to bless me with a big old commercial building, y'all, where I do house a lot of people for free. We're going to tie case management into it, social services. But then when it's time for them to go or be discharged, they go right into the housing portion of it. So I want a shelter one day. But today, that's not what we're talking about. I don't want you guys running the shelter today. I want y'all to learn this independent model and charge everybody their fee. That's what's so good about the shared housing model, you all. Watch this. I do both sides of it. I got a house. We own properties where we house family, women and children, all of that stuff. But that's one income. And I always reference my house in Georgia. House in Georgia got a mom, dad, 3 kids. The dad left because they fell out, found out that they weren't really married. My property manager told me all of this. Derek, you know they weren't really married? I said, oh, really? The husband gone now, Derek, so now just the lady and her 3 kids. It was 2 kids when she first moved in. Lady got pregnant, 3 kids now, husband leaves. That's one income. And I pray every month that she able to keep her job, to keep paying that rent, and a place for her and her kids. But that's one income. That's risky for me. What about when you take that same asset and rent to multiple people? Now that same house that got 6 people in it, and everybody pay rent at that $740 or higher per bed. That's how you guys can see the math of this thing can get out of control in a good way real fast. Because again, a 4-bed, 2-bath home, guys, where you can house 8 people, and just say for even numbers at $700, guys, that's $5,600 a month. And most of us, watch this. I always say, well, not always, but I'm gonna start saying this more and more and more. Most of you all, and this is not an insult to your job, your life, or your income, but most of y'all, just like me, when I started, y'all can get 2 of these houses and quit your job. And I hate to use that Q word. I'd rather use the R word and say resign. But most of y'all can get 2 of these and leave your job in the next 90 days. How do I know that? I'm coaching a lot of people that do it. Okay? So consider that when you're thinking about it. How many houses do you need to be able to leave your job? We've never talked about that live. I talk about that with my clients that are one-on-one. But think about that tonight. How many clients do you need to be able to leave your job and say, you know what? I think I can leave my job now. Because that's a decision that all of y'all will soon have to make once you get into this. That was me. Poor social worker making 28 grand a year. Got 1 house. I said, ooh, this is cool. Got another one. Had a business partner at the time that was not my wife. Got another one. I said, ooh, 3 houses. Got another one. I said, you know what? I think I'm finna leave this job. I think because Because guys, I'm gonna give y'all my whole thought process. Some of my clients, y'all, watch this, don't pay me once a month like most of them do. I got a few clients, guys, that pay me weekly and bi-weekly. So guess what I found out during starting this? I said, wow, I always have money now. As a social worker, I got paid every 2 weeks on a Friday. By the time I paid my bills, I was broke by Wednesday. I say this model, not only am I doing it on my own, but I get money once a month, I get money weekly, and I get money also bi-weekly. Watch this, free coaching moment. When you're housing people that have a job, you don't charge them monthly. That's free game for you, right? I just saved you thousands of dollars with that advice. How do I know? Dummy me in the beginning. I'm housing people that get paid every Tuesday, trying to charge them monthly. I never got paid. So the guy that works at McDonald's, Sonny's Barbecue, Burger King, Walmart, Shoney's. Boy, I miss Shoney's. There's not a Shoney's where I live at now. Y'all remember Shoney's? I'm going to take a pig trail. Y'all remember that place, Shoney's? That was a good place, y'all. Served breakfast. Anyway, that guy, I don't charge him monthly. I charge that guy weekly or bi-weekly. By the way, prime example, my guy, Mr. D, yesterday his rent was due because he paid every 2 weeks. His rent is $740 a month. So if my math is not incorrect, he owed me $370 every time I see him. Does that make sense, y'all? Somebody put 740 divided by 4, meaning if he was to pay me weekly, that's what I would get. This guy chooses to pay bi-weekly because that's how his boss pays him. So I teach my people, when your client get paid, congratulations, that's when you get paid. So if you got a guy get paid every Tuesday, you get paid every Tuesday. If you got a guy get paid every Wednesday, you get paid every Wednesday. Right? Now, I learned that the hard way, so I'm going to give it to y'all now. Because I just thought, I'm trying to people monthly rent. And that's the fun part about this, Mary. When you get a house of 8 people, 5 of them pay you monthly, 3 of them pay you weekly and bi-weekly. I was like, man, I always got money in my pocket now. Y'all, I'll admit, just to be honest with y'all on a live, guys, I wasn't used to that. I was used to working this system, getting paid, paying bills, I'm broke to next payment. And May got a little bit to go take Shay to dinner, go to Ross and buy me a shirt and a pair of pants. Because, guys, I'm not a real frivolous, just spend a bunch of money type guy. I am freely giving when I have it, but I'm not the guy that's going to go buy chains and necklaces and rims and cars and luxury stupid stuff. I've never been that, right? Because I believe that if I do God's will and keep buying real estate, the real estate going to buy all this junk that I want. These rentals will buy all the junk that I want. Does that make sense, everybody? That you don't have to be so, I got to buy. But if you get the assets that create the income, and what's so cool about this, y'all, you can rent the place. You can lease the place. I don't own these properties. None of my properties in Central Florida, guys. One of them. And that's Shay's property, actually, because that's our nonprofit property. But every other one, guys, they're rentals. And that was the first kind of cheat code for most people when they found out that they didn't have to buy the place. You can rent this place, guys, and do the same work that God has already put on your heart. Okay? Qatar said, come to South Carolina, bro. Qatar, we don't have a Shoney's no more. And if I'm wrong about that, Tia, and you know it, I don't, let me know. Shoney's used to be a big thing back in the day. Guys, I remember Shoney's so well that I remember they had the best, my mom makes them, but they're in these little sticks, French toast sticks. Qatar, do they still have the French toast sticks, Qatar? That was one of my favorite. Their breakfast was to die for almost, y'all. But anyway, Qatar, is it still good? I remember it being a really good place. Is it still good, sis? Well, other than that, guys, again, man, I've been here for about an hour almost. I'm at, 6:50? So I still went over probably more than what I even said. But again, like usual, I hope that I said something tonight that sparked an idea, especially if you're new. My older people, you guys get this, and y'all just need the encouragement to keep coming, right? Mary, you get this stuff. Tia, you get this stuff. Qatar, you got this stuff. Y'all just keep coming to be supportive and get the encouragement to keep pushing. I appreciate that. But if you're new to us, first of all, let me know in the chat. I want to shout you out. But also, I got that free gift that I want to give you just by texting the word new to that phone number, 407-326-0086. Again, if you just text that word new to 407-326-0086, make sure you do that. I got a brand new book that's called Don't Wait to Be Great. Absolutely free. You guys can have that. And we're here every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern for now. But in the new year, we're changing it to 7 p.m. In fact, I'm going to just start saying it. Join us at 7 p.m. in the new year. In fact, I may ask Shay, and we may start this even before the new year because I want to start getting you guys prepared for it. But 7 p.m. for sure will be the new start time in the new year. And then 10 a.m. on Saturdays, that'll probably stay the same unless Shay tells me otherwise. So join us. And also, if you miss it, go back and watch the replays, right? There's over 635 videos on the topic of shared housing. There's not a question or a thought that you can come up with that there's not already a video that kind of leans towards it. And again, I want to also extend the one-on-one coaching to anybody that wants that. You guys can go to forstonconsultants.com/IMB, and that'll lead you to our one-on-one coaching. That's forstonconsultants.com/IMB, and that leads you to our one-on-one coaching, which also has the opportunity for a scholarship to be applied to it to help with price. So for the family that asks, will the scholarship meaning that it's free? No, it doesn't. I wish. But I did give away a few of those last month, though. So if you were lucky enough to get that, we didn't even announce it. We just pulled some people, and we gave some crazy, stupid sales the month of November. If you missed that, God bless you. But there is still a scholarship opportunity. So if you do want our one-on-one coaching, the ILF Mastery Blueprint, or the ILF Accelerator, our 6-month program, or the DIY version, just let us know by texting the word scholarship and letting us know which one of those packages that you wanted, and let's see how we can help you guys. Other than that, guys, I won't prolong tonight too much longer. I'm going to check the chat for any questions. And again, if you just joined us, text the word new, but also text the phrase more info, MOREINFO, to the same phone number, 407-326-0086. You can text the word new individually, but also text the word or the phrase more info. The more info will get you our introductory webinar, which also gives you a free phone call with me and my team to talk about how can we get you started in your city. Okay, so I'm gonna probably take one more commercial break. I'm gonna check the chat, and then if I don't see any questions, I'm gonna get you guys out of here, and y'all have a beautiful Monday. I'll be right back. Hey, David, did you know that you can start your own housing program and it doesn't require you for you to own the property and you do not need a license? So how in the world would you do that? I was always told that you had to own the property and that there was always some kind of special license that you had to get from your city to do this. People always told me that there was lots of red tape to jump through. So you mean to tell me these are also not group homes? It's actually simple. They're called independent living facilities, and Forston Consultants actually created it. They hold the trademark for it. So I follow them religiously on Instagram at Forston Consultants as well as Facebook. And every Monday night at 6 p.m., they actually go live on YouTube at Forston Consultants, and I follow them there as well. So you mean to tell me my dream of becoming this housing provider that I've always dreamt of is closer than I realize? And again, you're telling me I don't need a license and I don't have to own the property. Absolutely. You do not have to own the property. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a CNA, and you can get started as soon as tomorrow. Click the link below for more information.
Take a drive down Los Angeles' Skid Row, filled with tents, people, and growing frustration.
If I can get back into another residence, then I won't make the same mistakes I made before.
According to new federal data, a record number of people are now unhoused, more than 653,000, a 12% population increase since last year. Mel Tilakaratna runs a nonprofit that provides free showers to people living on the street.
The system is completely overwhelmed.
Tilakaratna points to a rise in housing costs, the opioid epidemic, mental health issues, and the migrant crisis as factors exacerbating the problem in LA.
We have families, asylum seekers to families in LA who become homeless, and prior where we would be able to send them to a motel or a shelter within a couple of days, now there's absolutely no resources.
These issues are also creating friction in major cities. Back in September, New York Mayor Eric Adams revealed new fears as tens of thousands of asylum seekers flooded the city.
I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City.
In Phoenix, the city recently cleared a large encampment located downtown.
It seems that the quote-unquote cleanup that the city did just spread the mess out a lot further. People going through everyone's dumpsters, dragging stuff out into the streets.
Across LA, officials have tried to clear out encampments.
They come hit tents and then all your stuff will be gone.
This year, Los Angeles County declared a state of emergency. Since then, officials say they have provided health services, counseling, substance abuse treatment, and found temporary housing for more than 15,000 people and permanent housing for more than 8,000. But even those...
And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is why you need it. That's why I play these clips all the time, because a lot of those people that are facing homelessness, guys, they actually receive that guaranteed income. They receive that SSI, the SSDI, the SSA. That's a government stipend, guys. They get every month without fail. They just have no clue that you have a program that can house them individually. They think that they have to go out and find an apartment or buy a house, and that's just simply not true. That's why we invented this shared housing, guys, because, again, a lot of people just quite frankly can't afford an apartment. They can't afford to buy a house. They can't pass a background check. They don't have a double or triple deposit. So, again, guys, when I get asked the question, why are we needed? That was the whole purpose of that video. So make sure you guys scan these QR codes to watch both of our webinars. That also grants you a phone call with us so that we can talk about how can we get you started in your city, but also talk about what scholarships that may be able to be applied to you, right? Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Spend a lot of time there, guys. If I were you, you guys are getting ready to go on like break from your job or school. The last two families that I spoke to, I'm so proud of them. Not only do they want the coaching, but they've already consumed the majority of our videos, right? And even though that I said I have over 600 videos, guys, and they're hours long, this one family has consumed over half of that stuff already. And they were able to quote a lot of the stuff back to me. So I know they're ready. So I'm going to encourage that. Dig into the YouTube channel, dig into the Facebook, Instagram, follow us, stay informed, because, again, year 2025, guys, you need to seriously consider what can you get into that can not only help people, but please God, but also cause generational wealth in your family. Those are three powerful things that I just talked about. Pleasing God, creating generational wealth, right? And helping people. And all of that is surrounded by, again, you making enough money to still be able to feed your family. The Bible says if a man don't work, he don't eat. And this is a great way, guys, to be able to work, right? To be able to feed your family by doing God's will. So other than that, I appreciate you guys. It is 6:58 and looks like I'm gonna be able to end this room in exactly about an hour. So again, join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Shay and I'll be back here again, probably talking about digital flow solutions, virtual assistants, and a bunch of other stuff. But again, follow us on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, and also on YouTube at Forston Consultants. So everything that we do is at Forston Consultants. Also become a friend of mine on Facebook at Derek Forston. Be my friend, but more importantly, be nosy and go and see what we're talking about, what we're doing, what I'm posting, because I posted something about 3 days ago where we talked about buying or renting real estate, but giving the whole property over to an actual company, to a social service agency, and let them run their own program while they pay you for a master lease. So that's a new thing that we're all, well, I ain't even say new. It's a newer thing that we'll be teaching to other people. Because I get some folks that say, well, Derek, I don't have time to run this thing myself, but I do love the real estate play. This is it. Imagine being able to buy, lease, or rent a piece of real estate and then rent it to a social service company or agency, and they run their own program. You ain't involved in that, but then they pay you a master lease. I like that. So we're going to be getting into that. If you're interested in that, let us know in the chat or any way that you like, but that's kind of something else that we're going to be getting into. And other than that, man, you guys be great. I love y'all. We'll see y'all later in the week. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays and all of that good stuff. Father God, thank you so much for the seed that was sown tonight. Thank you for the ability to give what you just gave me. And Father God, by your grace and by your mercy, bring all of this information back to their remembrance. And Father God, help them to move at the speed of instruction to do what you've already put on their heart, which is house the homeless, take care of the needy, and be involved in real estate. So Father God, I pray that the devil is under their feet tonight and has no place in their life, their business, or their family. And again, everybody under the sound of my voice right now, they are healed from the top of their head to the soles of their feet. There is nothing wrong with any of you all, and you will do everything that God has already put in your heart in Jesus' name. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, according to God's power that worketh in us. You guys be great, and we'll see you guys later on in the week. Hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know, there are 4 different ways to get into what we do. The first way is absolutely free by joining us every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday right here on our YouTube channel. Monday and Tuesdays are at 6 p.m. Eastern, and Saturdays are at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's the free way. The next way is our ILF Mastery Blueprint, which is our one-on-one coaching, and we'll talk more about that here in a minute, but that's our hand-holding coaching, as we would call it. We walk you step by step, and it's called the ILF Mastery Blueprint. The next version of how to get into what we do is called the ILF Accelerator. That's a 6-month program for people that may not need the one-on-one coaching for an extended amount of time. And then the very last one is called our do-it-yourself version, where we give you all the material, all the content, and everything that you need to get started. And you can do it at your own pace. And it's called our do-it-yourself version. Hey, what's going on, family? Have you ever imagined starting your own housing program? That's probably why you're here. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, like you're kind of getting right now, but in a more of a one-on-one setting, just you and I, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint. There's a number that they're scrolling below on this screen right now. If you text the word scholarship to that phone number, my team is going to get you some information. So first of all, I'm going to say congratulations and thank you for moving at the speed of instruction. We look forward to working with you. And again, this is only for people that desire our one-on-one coaching, which is designed to watch you succeed from going from a zero to a hero when it comes to information and knowing how to implement this independent living facility model without any mistakes. That's most important. So again, our ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, there's a scholarship that's available for it that'll slice the price in half, which is also a no-brainer. So again, if you've ever desired to start your own housing program, but you thought you needed a license, you don't. You thought you had to be a nurse, you don't. You thought you had to own the property, you don't. Consider our ILF Mastery Blueprint, where we are going to take you to success and let God use you in your community, housing the homeless and the displaced. Let's get back to the show.